Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and this is another quick video to help you get ready for Tuesday's test. I gotta tell you, I was really proud to see how many of you actually showed up for the algebra help session, the algebra party Friday, for you to stay on a Friday after school, after the afternoon of not having classes, and then stay for an extra half an hour or an hour. I was very impressed by that. Great job. Way to care about your performance. All right. So for those of you that didn't come, we had a classroom full of students. Remember, there is going to be a help session on Monday from 3 to 4. Okay. So here we're going to do some evaluating expressions, and then I'll also talk about the order of operations. So let's get down to this problem here. Oh, by the way, my Algebra Lite kids, you don't need to see this video. It is not wrong to see this video. I mean, certainly you can learn something from it. It's not relevant to the test you're taking on Tuesday. So if you'd rather go study something else, I think that would be a wise choice. Okay, now something I want to suggest to you, and I've said it in class, but maybe it didn't stick. Whenever you substitute a value in for a variable, I want you to use parentheses, even if there are already parentheses there. So for example, I've got 2ab squared minus the quantity of ab squared. All right. When I go to substitute in a, because I'm told a is 3 and then b is 4, when I go to put those in, I'm going to put parentheses around the numbers I substitute in. Even though this one already has parentheses, I'm going to put some in. Now, by the way, these two expressions are not even close to being the same. This one, only the b is being squared. Yeah, the exponent on the a is actually 1. Now, on this one, you can say the exponent on a is 1 and b is also 1, but both of them are being squared. So let's substitute in and see what happens. So I'm going to have a 2, and then I'm going to put 3, why 3? Because a equals 3, in parentheses, and then I'm going to put in parentheses 4, and then I'm going to put the square outside of it, not inside the parentheses. It doesn't say b squared equals 4, it says b is 4, so I'm sliding the 4 in here, and I have to make sure I square the entire 4. Now, in this problem, it's trivial, but if the b were negative, then it would not be trivial. And hold on one second, I want to change that. I've got the negative in the wrong place here. I wanted the negative on the 5. Okay, all right, so I did that. Now I have to come over here and go minus, and there's a parenthesis, start a quantity. Then I need an a, so I'm going to put a 3. Then I need b, which is 4, and then I close the quantity and square it. And now I'm going to follow the order of operations. So parentheses say do me first. There's nothing to do inside here, nothing to do inside here. In here, I can multiply 3 times 4. So I'm going to do 2 times 3, 4 squared, minus the quantity of 12 squared. Where did I get the 12 from? 3 times 4. But multiplication doesn't come first, but the multiplication is nestled within the parentheses. Remember, the order of operations says you do parentheses first, then you do exponents, and by the way, exponents and roots have equal value. Yeah, exponents and roots. Okay, and then you do multiplication, division, left to right, left to right, so it could be division, multiplication, depending on which comes first. And then you do addition, subtraction. And again, that goes left to right. So it could be subtraction, addition, depending on which comes first. Like how I avoided using the P word. See, you don't need the P word. Yeah, go tell Mrs. Ligon that Mr. Lawrence doesn't like the P word. She knows, she'll laugh about it. She knows I don't like it. Okay, so now I'm going to go do my exponents. There's no exponents here other than 1, so I'm not going to do anything. So I'm going to have 2 times 3. That's supposed to be a 3. I have the hardest time making 3s with my pen. And this will be a 16, right? Minus 12 squared, 144. Don't you feel smart that you know that that's 144 and you don't have to run to a calculator now? Yeah, okay. So now I have multiplication and subtraction. So I'm going to multiply. So let's see here. I am going to, multiplication is commutative. So I'm not going to go 2 times 3 times 6. I'm going to do how I think is easier. And I'm going to go 2 times 16 is 32 times 3 is going to be a 6 and a 9, a 96 minus 144. Now, if you haven't figured this out yet, this is the same problem as this, except this one here, this vertical one, will have a positive answer. Why? Because there's more positives. There's 144 positives and only 96 negatives. Here, there's 96 positives, 144 negatives. There will be more negatives left over. So if I do 5 minus 7, and I have trouble, I can do 7 minus 5 and get 2. Well, 5 minus 7 is going to be negative 2. See how it works? It's the same answer, only one is the positive and the other is the negative because there are more negatives or there are more positives. All right, so I probably would want to cheat and do 144 minus 96. Well, minus 100 would be 44, and then add 4. I'll bet you my answer. I will bet you my answer is going to be a negative 108. Now, if you follow what I did 144 minus 100. Oh, and I did that very poorly. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm showing you a trick and I'm doing it wrong. Okay, this would be 44, and that's 4 less, so my answer is going to be negative 48. There we go. That makes a little more sense. Sorry about that. If you follow what I did, great. If not, do it the old-fashioned way where you do the borrowing. Let's see, we're going to need a 14, and that'll be a 13, right? Okay, and so we're going to get 8, and 13 minus 9 is 4, and it's negative, right? Well, that's positive, but we got to get a negative. All right, so I've got negative 48 for my answer. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now I'm going to do number 2 for you, and then I'll let you try number 3 on your own. Okay, so number 2, let me erase this work here. And by the way, don't you ever erase work. Cross it out. You know, if you don't want me to grade it, that's fine, but don't erase it. Always let me see your work. Okay, so we had 2 times A times B was it plus or minus? I don't remember. It's minus the quantity of A times B. And that quantity is squared. So just like the last time, I'm going to start inside the nestled parentheses. And I'm going to get 2 negative 5 squared, right? And then here I'm going to have negative 10. Okay, so now I'm going to do my exponents. I'm going to have 2 times 2 times 25, because negative 5 times negative 5 is 25, minus 100. And so 2 times 2 is 4, times 25 is 100. And so this comes out to be a nice pretty answer of 0. Okay? All right, I want you to pause the video and try number 3 and see if you can get it right. Okay? If you haven't tried it yet, please pause the video now. Here comes my solution. 2 times 6 times negative 3 squared minus the quantity of, oops, that should be a 6 times negative 3. Always put them in parentheses like I said, and squared. Okay, so let's see, that's going to be 954. I think this is going to be 108. And over here, I'm going to get negative 18, 324. 324. Taking what Mr. Lawrence said before, I'm going to go 324 minus 100. And that's going to give me 224. But I need to take 8 more away, right? And if I take 4 away, I'll be at 220. I should be at a negative 216. That should be the right answer. Okay. Now, order of operations. I'm going to walk through these two, and then I've got pause the video and you can see the answers. All right, so in this problem, the highest level in the order of operations I see is an exponent. So I'm going to do 6. Now remember, the negative is not being squared. Why? Because the negative is not inside parentheses with the 4. It's just the 4 being squared, so it's being 6 minus 4 squared, which is 6 minus 16. divide by 2 times 8 minus 10. All right, so I'm going to have 6 minus, do left to right in here. See, this part here is left to right. 16 divided by 2 is 8 times 8 minus 10. So we're going to have 6 minus 64 minus 10. And let's see, I'm going to have 74 negatives. I believe that'll come out to be 68, I think. Is that right? Let me see, 74. Yeah, that should be right. Negative 68. There you go. Okay, over here, this is going to be negative 9, not 9. Oops, I goofed. I shouldn't have done that first. I didn't look at the whole problem. I just got excited. Let me back up a second. The first thing I should do is right here. This should turn into 12. Now I'll go do my exponents. So I'll have a negative 9 plus a 20 divided by 5 times a 2 minus 144. How did I get 144? Because I did 12 squared. Okay, so now I go look at the division multiplication. I go left to right. So this is going to turn into 4 times 2, or better yet, 8. So now I have a negative 9 just coming down plus 8. Well, wait, where'd the 20 go? Well, the 20 got divided by 5 and then multiplied by 2. So there it is. Okay, and then minus 144. All right, this is negative 1. These two make negative 1. And a negative 144 would be negative 145. And there you go. Okay, so now I've got 2 practice problems for you. Again, please pause the video, see if you can do them right. Under these rectangles, I have the answers. Too bad it's not a touchscreen. You'd be able to move them. But I'm going to show the answers in 1 second. So if you haven't paused the video, do so now. Work out the problems. Okay, here we go. Here's the solution for the first one. Negative 36. And the answer to the second one is negative 8. Forgive me, I said solution. They really should be the answers. All right, that's it for the video. I will make, I think, one more on the nth term. If you need some further instruction on something, let me know. I got a little bit of time. I can make a video just for you. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.